Can you say your name and what year you graduated, please?
Brock Collins, and I graduated in 2004.
Okay. So the first questions are going to be about pop culture and styles, and then it's going to go into school events and world events after that.
Okay.
So the first one was, were there any movies in 2000 to 2004 that made a big impact on Prospect or you in general?
Movies. I specifically remember Coyote Ugly.
Coyote Ugly?
Coyote Ugly?
Coyote Ugly, what was
Yeah.
that about?
Coyote Ugly is about, well, it's Piper, is named Piper Paraboo, I believe it is, Piper Paraboo. She's kind of lost and alone, but she comes across this group of rough and tumble girls that work as bartenders in New York. And the soundtrack led by Can't Stop the Moonlight by LeAnn Rimes. Either way, it was good, but it was a big, I guess, kind of chick flick in the early 2000s. So there was that. In terms of, movies that I watched, I don't know if they were necessarily like out at that time, but like Boondock Saints was a big one.
There was like Gladiator, Monsters Inc., Nemo, and...
Yeah, I think I generally avoided all of those.
You did?
Yeah. But
Mean Girls?
Mean Girls is big too, for sure. I mean, that's now out in syndication, but yeah, that was, again, not necessarily my demographic,
Okay.
but made an impact for sure.
Okay. And then reality TV in 2002 boomed and American Idol first started. Did anyone at Prospect try out?
Well, there was a Leader Wise thing, but yeah, some of my friends actually went and tried out, and made like an extra round, but didn't,
So did it affect
on to do it.
Prospect students anyway? Were they
Yeah,
the big talk when they came back?
People watched it. Actually, I think my friend auditioned like our first year of college, but there weren't any people that I know of that went and auditioned while we were in high school.
Okay.
So,
And then J.K. Rowling, she wrote all the Harry Potter books. Were those big in Prospect? Like, I
Yeah.
know the Chamber of Secrets came out during your high school
I definitely
time.
went and watched some Harry Potter movies, but I didn't read the books.
Okay.
So,
And then with the new social and fashion trends on the rise, did you find yourself in the midst of it?
I find myself in the midst of the
With the-
social and
With the fashion, like the guys
Yeah.
spiked their hair up in the front
Right.
and sagged their
Did
pants.
a little bit of that. I definitely had at one point, not the sagging of the pants or the really baggy pants, but definitely had like some orange hair, just the front.
Yeah, and you
was
spiked it up with
orange.
gel?
It was spiked with gel.
Do you know what year that was?
I'm gonna say that was the year 2000. That was freshman year of high school. It was actually just the summer before freshman year of high school. But once I got into high school, I pretty much just shaved my head.
Okay.
But yeah, there was, I didn't get wrapped up in terms of the fashion too much because it was mainly baggy pants and like choker, like puka shell necklace chokers,
Yeah.
and like a lot of hemp stuff, which is kind of making a comeback a little bit now. But yeah, I pretty much just wore like a t-shirt and jeans to school every day.
Did you try any crazy hairdos? Like I was looking at prom pictures and guys like spiked their hair up.
Oh yeah, like a Rob Yoctiongo. I don't
Yeah.
know if you know him, but yeah, he definitely did that. No, I
No,
didn't.
no.
Like I said, I pretty much after sophomore year, I just shaved my head.
Okay. And then you would have been like a freshman at the time, but Prospect had an annual bonfire and then it got canceled. How did the school react to that? It was kind of like night games getting canceled.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know?
I don't remember anybody really caring. Of course, I was like, involved in other stuff.
Yeah.
So like, night games to me was like, I didn't even really think about it. Because I was on the football team, so I was worried about like the homecoming game.
Okay.
So,
And then, did you know about Dane Anderson? Did you know who he was? He was a senior in 2000 and he had a drug overdose.
no. But
No?
I think that was because he graduated in 2000 and I got there in the fall of 2000.
Okay. And then, so 9/11, what class were you in?
I was in, she actually just retired, Miss HC's honors lit class sophomore year. But in that class, that's where I was when it happened, but I didn't hear about it until I went out in the hall, and then her name was Miss Nabat, Senora Nabat, her Spanish 3 class. So that's when I watched the second tower get hit.
Was the whole school in a panic?
It wasn't really a panic, it was kind of like, wow, that's
Oh.
happening over there. But after that, we didn't have school really. Like we went from class to class and just watched TV. we just watched what was going on.
Yeah.
I think one of the more eerie things was that, you don't really notice it, but we live in kind of, not like a flyover pattern like there is in Franklin Park, but there were no planes. It was just like eerily quiet.
Okay. And then in 2001, there was a school shooting in California. Do you remember that? It was like a big deal, and it was in the Prospector.
No.
Okay.
In California?
Yeah.
I remember one in like Tennessee, like a 12-year-old kid with a rifle.
When was that?
California. Was that?
When was that?
I feel like it was in high school. I don't know.
High school?
Yeah.
And then in 2003 there was the Mission Space Shuttle Columbia, and 7 people died in that. You don't remember that either?
Wasn't that 1986?
No, there was another one in 2003.
No. It just like exploded on while it was taking off?
Yeah. 7 people died. No?
No.
All right.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. And then in 2003, the Iraq War started.
Mm.
How did Prospect react?
Well, I think at that time especially, there was like this swell of patriotism that came after 9/11.
Mm-hmm.
And there really was kind of like pretty unilateral, not unilateral, what I mean is bilateral. So like, no matter what your political leanings were at that point, you were more patriotic. Especially as a high school student, you were probably verging on like some type of, what's the word? Verging on like, I don't know, actually just straight up, belligerent, like let's go kill everybody kind of thing. So there was a lot of support for getting into the war then.
There was support?
Yeah, I mean, you never see a lot of the. I mean, there was support for responding in terms of like responding against Iraq, or sorry, not Iraq, against Afghanistan. Either the first thing,
yeah.
Right? But then the actual, like, going to war in 2003, there was a lot less support for that.
Yeah. In 2004, actually, there was a big protest in Chicago, and a whole bunch of Prospect students went. Were you there?
I was not.
You weren't there?
No.
Okay, and then the last question is, after 9/11 and after the Iraq protests, did you listen to Green Day's new album, American Idiot?
That was my freshman year of college. And yeah, I did.
Did you know that it was about 9/11?
I mean, if you look at the lyrics, I think you understand that it's definitely kind of like anti-government.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I specifically picked that up, but the Wake Me Up When September Ends makes sense kind of thing. Yeah, I listened to that album a lot, and then I got really tired of it.
Okay.
So now, like, I hate it.
Okay.
That happens.
Yeah. All right, that's all.
Okay.